I want to let you know about the edition that's on the street right now, because every Wednesday our vendors have something new to sell, they have something new to promote, and they definitely have something new to offer their customers. So this week, what's on the streets right now, here you go. Fighting hunger. We're talking about fighting hunger, and definitely want you all to be on the lookout for our competition that we're in. Vote for StreetWise on June 10th. Toyota's 100 cars for good. Details will be on page 4, and we're going to give a lot more information on how you guys can help us in this competition. Next week, hey, give it up for the fathers. Father's Day. Myself and all the awesome dads around the world. Hey, Father's Day. Happy Father's Day. So that's going to be an edition next Wednesday. Okay, now I want to bring on someone who's going to give us a lot of information about what's in this week's magazine, and definitely talk about the 100 cards for good competition. Welcome to the show, StreetWise StreetScene, Brittany Langmeyer. What's happening, Brittany?
Hey, Greg. How you doing?
I'm blessed and highly favored. Welcome to the show.
Oh, thank you. I'm happy to be here.
Got a lot of information we want to give to Chicago, definitely about the edition that's on the street right now, and the 100 cars. So what we have in the magazine this week?
Okay, well, before I get to 100 cars, I'm going to talk about some of the things that are going to be featured in this week's magazine, June 6th to June 12th. So, as you can see, this is the Fighting Hunger edition. So we have a whole horde of stories that focus on hunger and the issue of child hunger and just hunger as it exists in our society today. And so we have a lovely story written by one of our editorial interns, Andrew Marciniak. It's called 1,000 Days to Change the Future. Making Malnutrition History Summit Addresses Child Hunger. So 1,000 Days is a program that, as it states, addresses child hunger. And it's one of the most important issues, because that is actually the leading cause of death in children is hunger. And so that's why we wanted to address it. And 1,000 days, the reason it's called 1,000 days is they focus on the pregnancy period as well as those first 2 years of child development in addressing the issue of hunger. Because if a child is malnourished during that time, they have a higher risk of poverty, because it can affect things like their IQ and their physicality and their health. And so that's why this issue is so important.
So during the time of pregnancy is the most time to be eating right?
Right.
Eating
well,
good food,
absolutely.
Right food.
And all these wonderful organizations came together: the Chicago Greater Food Depository, Feeding America, Ounce of Prevention, and other international and national and local organizations as well, to talk about ways to address this and ways to improve it.
All right. What else we got?
All right. We have a huge spread on NATO and on all of the protests that went on, and all of the various organizations and groups that came out for that event in Chicago. And I think the Streetwise perspective is very interesting, because we try to give a wide array of views. And
we always going to give you the real deal about what happened and what's going on.
Absolutely. And I also want to mention that the 27th annual Hunger Walk, we'll flip back to hunger for a second, will be on June 23rd. Okay. So make sure you check that out. That's the 27th annual Hunger Walk on June 23rd. So, and, there's some wonderful features in the magazine in addition to that, but I'm not going to tell you about those. You're going to have to buy it to find out. So, I also want to mention that I'm responsible for putting customers and their favorite vendors, those photos, into the magazine. So if you have a favorite vendor that you buy regularly from, please stop by and take a photo with them, and you can send it to me. You can send it to my email. That's blangmeyer@streetwise.org, blangmeyer@streetwise.org, and we would be happy to feature you and your favorite vendor on page 3 of our magazine. I also want to mention that Rourke Moody is featured in this week's magazine. His poetry, he's one of our most wonderful poets. He's also a Streetwise vendor, and he wrote this poem called Over the Edge, and the poem says, "Over the edge, stress the limit, nothing to pledge over the edge. Oh God, make room for me in heaven." So it's very beautiful.
Yeah, Rourke Moody has a lot of good poetry. That's one of our top vendors. You can catch Rourke Moody over there on Michigan Avenue in Randolph. A good supporter of the magazine.
Right there by the South Shoreline, Millennium Station, right outside there. So, and we also have a vendor that is featured in the magazine, Melinda Rogers, and she's a real sassy lady. So check out her profile. Here she is.
Profile.
All right, and Melinda Rogers says, "There isn't such thing as can't. You're never going to do anything without a positive attitude. So get rid of all of that negativity." Man, Melinda, you got it right, girl. That is so true. You got to be positive, Greg.
All the time.
Absolutely. All right, now on to the good part. Now I want to tell you all at home about a very, very, very important cause that StreetWise is working on right now. And so if you've paid attention to anything during this show, now would be the time. So StreetWise is part of Toyota's 100 Cars for Good program. And what that entails is 500 nonprofits from across the nation will compete over a span of 100 days to win a brand new Toyota to better serve their organization. Mm-hmm. And so our voting day is June 10th, and that is this Sunday, Chicago. This Sunday, June 10th. And you can only vote from 9 a.m. to 11 p.m. at night. And the way you vote is by going to 100carsforgood.com. And something that you must have is a Facebook. You have to have a Facebook account to vote, because the way it works is you will log on to your Facebook, and then if it's the first time visiting the site, you'll be required to allow access to the 100 Cars for Good app. So don't worry, it's not going to spam you, it's not going to follow you, just allow access, and you actually don't even have to like the app. You know how Facebook has the little like click. You don't even have to do that. All you have to do is allow it access. And then you will see on the screen the 5 organizations that are competing on that day, StreetWise being one of them. And we hope you will vote for StreetWise.
Oh, yes.
So, absolutely.
Most definitely.
So you will click the button that says Learn and Vote. The StreetWise profile will come up, and then you just confirm the vote. And there you have it. You voted for StreetWise. And, you know, something that I want to talk about is how StreetWise is actually going to benefit from a new car. You probably are wondering, what would we do with this car? Well, we would do a lot with it.
We can do a lot of things with this new van.
Because we have many disabled vendors.
That's right.
Many vendors who are in wheelchairs. And this van, it's a Sienna Mobility. And so it is actually wheelchair accessible. And that's why we wanted this specific van. We got to choose between 5 various models, but we wanted this one because of our large population of disabled vendors.
And it can help them get back and forth to their location, help our vendors while looking for housing, job search, pick up donations
help
and contributions that we get.
Doctor appointments,
exactly.
all kinds of things. And we also hope to use it to actually deliver vans to locations where there's a heavy density of disabled vendors in the area, because it is very difficult for them to get to our location. The Red Line actually in Uptown, where our office is not handicap accessible.
Right.
So they go through quite a venture, and they're very dedicated to get to our office by bus, actually. And a lot of them have to go quite out of their way. So that will help in that endeavor. And also, we are recently starting our Neighbor Carts program, which is a program where we've partnered with a company called Neighbor Capital, and Neighbor Capital will actually train our StreetWise vendors to manage these fresh produce carts around the city. Now, we really don't have any means of delivering this fresh produce. We haven't decided on as to how that's going to happen, but with this new van, that will allow us our solution. That will give us our solution. Yeah. We will have a giant van to help transport goods back and forth from these fresh produce carts. And actually, we are trying to cure the hunger desert issue in Chicagoland. So
now, when is this going to take place? When do these votes need to be in?
Okay, I definitely want to make sure that I pound it in your head. It's going to be this Sunday, June 10th.
This Sunday, June 10th.
From 9 a.m. to 11 p.m. The way you vote is you can go to 100carsforgood.com and vote. Okay, and you can also go to our website if you have any questions or need more information, and I'd be happy to answer your questions personally if you'd like to send an email to my personal email, which is blangmeyer@streetwise.org.
That's right.
And so please follow us on Twitter. Our Twitter handle is @streetwise_shy. That's @streetwise_shy. And you can also follow us on Facebook and just get updates as they come. And I want to mention one more time, Greg, if you are worried or concerned that you might forget about voting, don't worry. We have a solution. So if you simply go to this website right here, it looks strange, but that is actually a URL. It's the following one on the bottom, bit.ly/JH6SXM. If you go to that link, put that in your web browser, you're going to see a little pink Remind Me tab next to our StreetWise profile. Greg, if you could show the next slide, they'll be able to see a visual of that. There you have it. It's right there. That's what your screen will look like. If you see that pink arrow, it's pointing to the Remind Me tab. And you can go ahead and click that, and Facebook would be more than happy to send you a reminder on June 10th to vote for StreetWise. So I think I have covered it, Greg. I think
you covered it all.
But
we definitely want to let them know June 10th, Sunday.
Yep, this Sunday
is the time to vote.
And we really would appreciate your support, Chicago. We have a lot of men and women who want to get out of poverty, want to be better people, and your support would mean the world to them. I can't state it any other way. Please vote for them. Please vote.
And we will definitely want your support all the time with this competition and definitely with our vendors, okay? We've been here since 1992, and we're definitely here for you, Chicago. And I want to thank Brittany for coming on and giving us awesome information. What day again?
June 10th, 9 a.m. to 11 p.m., 100carsforgood.com.
If you'd like more information, then get in touch at our website, streetwise.org. Or contact Brittany where?
At Langmeyer at streetwise.org.
All right, there you have it, Chicago. 100 Cars for Good. Yep. StreetWise competition. We're the finalists. We're in the finalists, right?
We're going to win this.
Oh, most
Craig.
definitely.
We're going to win this.
And with your support, Chicago, most definitely going to win it. All right. Hey, but if you'd like to be a part of our organization, Chicago's the work, so can you. Become a StreetWise vendor. We'll help you get started. Your first magazines are free. $30 worth of magazines to get you started. After that, you're responsible for keeping the business going. What are the benefits of becoming a StreetWise vendor? Well, you'll be able to work for yourself, work at your own pace, set your own hours, start immediately. Everyone qualifies, no exceptions. Now, orientation is every Monday and Thursday at our facility, 4554 North Broadway. 4554 North Broadway. Okay, Chicago, my next guest was born in Boston and raised in Chicago. She's a graduate of Oak Park River Forest High School. She's one of our top female vendors in the Gold Coast. Welcome to StreetWise StreetScene, Renee Duckworth. Welcome to the show, Renee.
Hi.
How you doing?
Thank you, Greg, for inviting me onto your show.
Well, I finally got you on the show. We've been on the air for 6 years, and I finally got you on the show. I like Chicago to know that we do have female vendors, and not just female vendors, but hard-working, top-notch female vendors. And Renee, you are definitely one of those ladies that are part of our organization. And you've been in the Gold Coast for how long now, selling StreetWise?
For about 4 years.
Okay, 4 years selling in the Gold Coast, and your location is on Clark and Division, one of the most busiest streets in the city of Chicago, at the Jewels Market over there, right?
Right. And I have the Dunkin' Donuts behind me, 7-Eleven down the street, the Farmers Market, and...
The Farmers Market is on the weekend?
It's on Saturday.
Okay, it's on Saturdays.
7 to about 2 p.m. in the afternoon.
Okay, and not only do you work and sell StreetWise, but you also you have a part-time job where you work at a school cafeteria.
Right, it's a seasonal job, so I just got through doing that, so I'll be doing StreetWise full-time in the summer.
Okay, so like I said, you're a very hard worker, and you use StreetWise as a stepping stone to take care of yourself and take care of your family. Now, how did you get involved with StreetWise?
I met a person, it was in the summertime, and I met somebody who was a vendor, and that's how I became a vendor.
Right. It's kind of like similar to my other guest that I had on, Priscilla Orr, who won the top female vendor of the year last year. She won that award, but I called her a tag-along because she actually got involved with StreetWise by coming to StreetWise with somebody else. Not to be a vendor, but kind of like tagging along. And she liked the concept, and then she came back and became a vendor. That's kind of like how you got started. You was with a friend of mine, Sam Chapman, who was a very good vendor, and you came along with him, and then eventually you became a vendor. And been here longer than Sam has when he was a vendor, right?
I mean, that's the whole scenario, that I was a vendor, and I do this all year round. I'm a StreetWise vendor all year round. So during the school year, I'm out there in the winter, the summer, the spring and fall, the whole 9 yards. I have some regulars I have all school year, and then I have people who are come to the farmers market and they see me.
And you definitely have a large support of customers, because I know, because I'm in the streets a lot and I see you interact with the customers, and in the Gold Coast, that's the best place to be as far as loyal and dedicated customers. Now, some of the things that I know you like about the Gold Coast is being out there with the people, right?
Yes, I enjoyed always. I got to know some customers over time, and I got to know people who sometimes they need a little support. You always become your friend. You become not just your customer, but to become your friends, your neighbor, the people, maybe people to go to church with. I have a lot of different people that support me and said, well, yeah, I'll make it there, but I'm also got a business to run too. And it takes a lot of hours.
You know, we talk about busting and smashing stereotypes, you know. Busting and smashing stereotypes mean doing the opposite of those stereotypes. How would you consider, you know, as far as what you do, how do you bust and smash stereotypes?
Well, I mean, in the neighborhood that I'm in, because I'm near the L, and I'm near public transportation, I have a division of Clark Street 36 Broadway bus, which is all in my location. And the thing is that we do have people that hustle, sell candy. We got people that are selling clothes.
Panhandling, begging for change.
Yeah, right, exactly. Yes.
Yeah. So, when I, busting stereotypes, like you don't drink.
Right, I don't.
You don't get high.
No, I don't drink. I don't do drugs.
Right, and you work this like a job. I mean, you're very conscious about your appearance, and you have a very strong work ethic. That's what we mean by doing the opposite. Because Chicago knows there are stereotypes about streetwise vendors, and I know the vendors who do well are the ones who do the opposite of those stereotypes. And you're definitely one of those vendors. Do the panhandlers in that area, because there's a lot of panhandlers on Clark Division, people know that, do they aggravate you?
Oh, yeah, yeah, we have those. I mean, the security at Jules are pretty good about getting rid of them. And when I ask them, because they know I have a job. At Jules, if you walk into Jules, and it says, welcome to know this person in the neighborhood, is my picture at Jules.
Okay.
And that's been there since the reopening to that specific Jules on Clark Division.
You said there's a picture of you?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, it's been up there for a while.
Okay.
For over a year.
You say, the location. How did you get to that current location? I mean, you've been there for 4 years, but how did you begin to start selling at that location?
I stumbled on it. I was at one location and I tried another one. It didn't work. It didn't work out. It was like I had a lot of headaches when I first started working in Streetwise up in that location. But I earned respect.
Yes, you did. Because I remember I sent you to Treasure Island. That didn't work out for you.
No.
And then you found your way, some kind of way, to Jules, and you've been working there ever since.
Yeah.
And if you like to find Renee Duckworth, she's at the Jewels on Clark and Division. She's been there for 4 years. Come over there, support her business, speak with her. She's very good in the community. Do you have any advice for anyone sitting at home looking for a job?
Get up and come down to Streetwise and become a vendor, because there's nowhere just sitting at home instead of in front of a computer. If you don't have an access to a computer, Streetwise does have computers, and you can look for on-site for jobs.
That's right. So use Streetwise as a stepping stone. Chicago, if you want to vote for us on June the 10th, make sure that you have a Facebook account. And if you don't have one, it's real easy. It only takes a few minutes to start a Facebook account. That's June the 10th, this Sunday. Vote for us, Streetwise. Go to 100 good cars for good. All right? And we'll see you guys Until next week, stay focused, keep it real, and stay streetwise. Peace out, Chicago.